everyone, welcome to EduTerrain, and today we are going to see the topic that is agronomy, which is from agriculture and rural development static. Okay, so we'll be doing some questions on this particular topic, and wherever you feel like you are not able to connect with the topic or the question or the explanation, please let me know. I'll look into that. Okay, thank you very much. Hope you all had a great day today with the same enthusiasm, same energy. Let's start today's session without wasting much of your time. Agriculture and rural development static, topic agronomy. So the first question that I'm going to shoot at you is, which among the following crops is a deep rooted one where the roots reach to a depth of approximately greater than 1.5 meters into the soil? Now when we talk about agronomy, let me tell you about the NABARD examination. Okay, NABARD में जो agriculture part है, agriculture and rural development, one of the topics is agronomy. Okay, they haven't mentioned anything much about this particular topic. They simply mentioned that agronomy है and what is its scope and all that. And there is one particular topic under this particular agronomy is the classification of the field crops. Classification of crops, and based on various factors, various themes, you can say, there are different types of plants in this plant kingdom, especially when we talk about agronomy. There are two crop plants, okay, or you can say field crops. Field crops is one of the you can say sub component of the crops itself. Okay, so field crops that all would be important for your examination. One of those topics that I am asking you is here. Okay, yes, so here one of these crops, when we talk about different kinds of crops based on the depth of their root system, there are three major types. One, the shallow rooted crops. One, the medium deep rooted crops. Okay, and the other is the deep rooted crops. Now shallow rooted, बहुत shallow रहते हैं, and all your graminea family members, especially your paddy, wheat and all that, they are shallow rooted crops. Medium deep rooted, little bit deep to the tune of close to 1 meter or so, that all would fall under the medium deep, where you can say maize, red gram, all that will fall into that category. Now deep rooted are those crops where they go into more than 1.5 meter, they go into very deep into the soil, wherein because of this nature they keep on making the soil friable and they open up the soil, the root system, they keep on getting into deeper parts that will help in reducing the hard pans, etc. in forming. So because of which they are very, very important when it comes to crop rotation, because they'll make the soil friable, which is one of the important characteristic feature of the soil that can support any plant. Okay, and here in this case alpha is the one that is best example for the deep rooted crops, and generally this is involved or incorporated if in the crop rotations, that will help a lot in elevating the condition of the soil, which can support the next crop in a much better manner when compared to the absence of involving these kind of crops, because not only it's deep rooted, plus it's a leguminaceae family member, fabaceae family member, where they will add nutrition back to the soil with the help of the root nodules, that is fixing of atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. So both ways, एक तो nutrition बढ़ा रहा है soil का rather than depleting it like it happens with the regular cereal crops. Along with that, it is also making the soil friable. Okay, so one of the most important crops that can be incorporated in crop rotations as well. And third important point about this particular crop, it can be used as a forage crop for the animal, be it in the form of fresh fodder, be it in the form of silage, it can be used. So multi-purpose plant, you can say. Okay, alfalfa, it's also called as lucerne, medicago sativa, fabaceae or leguminaceae plant, and it is a perennial flowering plant. Once you harvest, again it can be grown. So multiple crops can also be taken. It's also called as queen of fodder crops because of the kind of utilization that we can take from this particular crop. It can be used directly for grazing, that is fresh hay, dried form, silage. Silages, they'll cut these into small pieces, especially when there is glut in the season, and they'll pack it in anaerobic conditions, that is lack of oxygen, in completely closed chamber sort of beneath the soil, wherein because of the anaerobic conditions created, the microorganisms will act on that, and slowly that will get a sort of ripening sort of. This will help that particular material, which is now called as silage, to stay for a longer period of time. So that can be used in the lean period. So it is also used as a green manure and cover crop as well. And the alfalfa used, the term it is used in North America as such. Okay, moving on to our next question. Paddy or rice, that is oryza sativa. Sorry, I forgot to italicize this. Whenever we talk about scientific names, that should be italicized. It is an example of which of the following concepts? Yes, anyone who wants to answer? And one more important point. Now this particular topic or questions that we are doing, it would be helpful for you for NABARD examination, NABARD grade A or B, and IBPS SO4L. Okay. Now paddy or rice, it is a cereal crop, that is starchy grains which are very much rich in carbohydrates. And the cereal crops are all annual crops, that is once they produce the grain, they will die. So this is not true. They are all monocotyledonous plants, that is whenever the seed, the first embryonic leaves that come out, it would be a single leaf, single cotyledon, not two cotyledons. Leguminous and all those family members, they fall under this dicotyledonous, where the embryonic leaves are two. It is a major cereal crop. This is true. So it is an example of this. If they have the annual crop, monocotyledonous, then we can say it is all of the above. Okay. Hello Aniket. And this particular example I have taken from the classification of the same, that is field crops based on the edible part, that is the kind of edible part that we are looking at. Okay. Annual crop completing its life cycle in single season. It is a major cereal crop. Whenever we talk about cereals, starchy grains. Simple. The key word for cereals is starchy grains, rich in carbohydrates. Monocotyledonous plant with one cotyledon, that is one embryonic leaf. Which of the following is not one of the external factors that affect crop production? This also has been clearly highlighted in the syllabus sheet of NABARD for ARD, wherein they have mentioned that factors that affect crop production. So when we talk about crop production, right from tilling till the entire produce is harvested and stored, they all fall under the crop production steps only. Now during this entire period, a lot of factors that affect this particular crop, and that might or that will affect the final produce as well. So all those factors we study under this particular topic. It's okay अनिकेत, अभी से बिल्कुल continuously we'll have classes. फिर आप बोलेंगे मैम बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है. Okay, don't worry, we'll have. So here when we talk about factors, the factors that affect crop production, there are two types. Okay, external. एक्सटर्नल मतलब बाहर से कुछ इफेक्ट कर रहा है. इंटरनल मतलब इंटरनली द plant body itself, from inside it's something, the genetic makeup etc. that is affecting, like drought resistant है तो droughts भी हुआ तो because of the genetic makeup it will be able to withstand the droughts. So that is how it is affecting the crop production. So internally genetic makeup, simple और कुछ नहीं. But external factors there are so many, like your physiographic kind of land on which the plants are being grown. अगर undulated है तो उसका इफेक्ट पड़ता है, स्लोपी कंडीशन से उसका इफेक्ट पड़ता है क्रॉप प्रोडक्शन पे. सो ऑल दैट बायोटिक फैक्टर्स, अ काइंड ऑफ अदर फ्लोरा एंड फौना दैट इज residing in that particular environment where this particular crop is. So obviously biotic factors also form the external factors, and all related to soil, the kind of soil pH, soil water, soil air, soil organisms, soil organic matter, all these affect. Obviously that is where the plant is growing, so it will have an effect on the crop production. There is any difference in pH or less organic matter, obviously that will have an effect on the crop production. Climatic, temperature, precipitation, wind velocity, temperature, all these. So these all are the external factors. So not one of the external factors, nothing, none of the above, because all of these are the external factors that affect the crop production. Okay. Edaphic is soil, related to soil. Edaphology we have studied, no? That one. Okay, moving on to our next question. Any crop or combination of crops grown for grazing or harvesting for either immediate purpose matlab fresh produce, like forage, directly that can be given to the animal, or in the future they can be stored like in the form of hay or silage for feeding of livestock. What is such kind of combination of crops or crops that can be grown? Generally it's a form of crop rotation only. Okay, but a specific term is given because in that rotation we are trying to incorporate such a crop which is used as a fodder or a forage crop, whether directly pastured or it can be cut and stored for a next season or something. Yes, which is that crop? Same question it was asked in NABARD grade A examination in 2019, I think. Previous year question here. Yes, it's called as lay cropping. Lay crops they are called as. So either pasture or stored for the future. It would be rotated with some other crop. Generally in the crop rotation only it would be done, but one of that would be used for feeding the livestock. Now what is a close grown crop grown primarily to improve or protect soil from erosion through their ground covering foliage or the root mats between periods of regular crop production? These are not grown in between the crops, like there is a season, fallow season in between. Why not grow some crop in such a way that the foliage would cover the entire area, or the root mats would be tightly held with the soil particles in such a way that it will avoid erosion, especially wind erosion. Okay, wind erosion or water erosion also in few cases where there might be excess water, but generally in areas where it is dry, arid conditions, they tend to go for these cover crops. Sorry, I gave you the answer. Okay, it's the cover crops that we are talking about here. Okay, so wherein like your groundnut bhi ho sakta hai, your cowpea, udad, these are all short duration crops, but at the same time they have a बहुत जल्दी grow कर लेते हैं and immediately they cover. Okay, and the same ये हो गया हमारा in between the periods of regular crop production. अगर regular main crop के साथ if this is taken in order to conserve the water, same, but main crop we are doing intercropping, the same, then they are called as mulch crops. Okay, and these are main crop यहाँ पे already है, in between the rows this crop is being grown for conserving water, that is mulch crops. So same crop है but different utility है. Okay, so please be very very careful. Contour crops or something, see when we talk about hilly terrain slopey areas, the slope, the height of that elevation points on that particular slope, whatever the same elevation points, अभी ये slope है, ये ऐसा लाइन है जहाँ पे ये elevation point from the mean level, ये सारे same points है. So we can connect these same elevation points on this particular slopey terrain. Now this particular line, it's called as contour line. Okay, growing the crops on these contour lines, it's called as contour cropping. उसमें भी फिर कई तरह के हैं. Okay, that we'll study when we do soil and water conservation methods in detail. So here lobia, groundnut, urad, sweet potato, methi, all these evidence. See, he have provided you with the mulch cropping. ये mulch cropping का photo है, not the cover cropping. Cover cropping मतलब यही crop रहेगा, पूरा area में cover कर लेगा. Okay? Yes. Now, what are those crops which return nutrient and organic matter to the soil known as? Based on the utilization of the nutrients or elevating the nutrient status of the soil, there are two major types of crops that can be grown. Yes. Which are those crops? Where they return nutrient and organic matter to the soil. Yes, anyone try? गलत भी हो तो कोई problem नहीं. I am here to guide you. Yes, anyone who wants to try? Okay. See, there are two types of crops I said. One is the exhaustive crops and the other is the restorative crops. Exhaustive crops क्या है? They completely deplete the nutrients from the soil. मतलब ये पूरा absorb कर लेंगे and then they will grow. Okay, they will not return anything to the soil as such. Example, your cereals. Best example is cereals here. Okay, restorative crops. They not only give us produce externally, but at the same time, because of their nature, like the root nodules in the leguminous family members, they absorb nitrogen and fix it in the soil. This they do, thereby the fertility level of the soil would increase rather than depleting it. So these are called the restorative crops because they are restoring the fertility status of the soil. Example, legumes. जो भी leguminous family members है, like your all kinds of grams, peas, they all fall under this particular section, restorative crops. Yes, exhaustive crops where they remove the nutrition from the soil. Okay. Yes, moving on to our next question. Who is the father of agronomy? The same question was asked in one of the earlier NABARD grade A examination. Phase 1 में पूछा गया था ये question. Generally, these kind of questions, straight questions, they are asked in the phase 1 examination. Yes. Father of agronomy. He is the one who has contributed a lot of concepts actually to agronomy. Hence, he is considered as a father of agronomy. Chapter 1 का मैंने जो document आपको provide किया है, there in the end you will have fathers of various disciplines and in one of that you will find this father of agronomy as well. Please go through that once because जितने भी हम disciplines करेंगे, almost all the disciplines का मैंने fathers उस list में दे दिया है. It would be easy for you to revise. इसलिए start में दिया है. Now you have ample time. जब भी whenever you come across any such subject, go through that particular topic. Animal husbandry का हो गया, horticulture का हो गया, agronomy का हो गया, so that आप एक बार revise कर सकते. Yes, it is Pietro di Crescenzi. He was born in Bologna in 1235 and was educated at the University of Bologna in logic, medicine, the natural sciences and law. Okay, उस टाइम पे exclusively ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता था. They can study various subjects and one of that from the natural sciences, he got more interested into that and into agriculture. He came up with lot of concepts. Now, moving on to our next question. What is the range of wavelength of the light required for chlorophyll to the same for photosynthesis? The name itself suggests photo plus synthesis. How we cook our food, similarly plants also cook their own food. Now what are the ingredients for that? That would be carbon dioxide plus water. Okay. and with the help of, but they should need something like we take, Maggi भी बनाना है तो मैगी और पानी लेंगे, and then we have to have some fire to cook that. So similarly here also they need that in the form of sunlight and chlorophyll ball भी होगा तो sunlight जरूरत है. Then they utilize this carbon dioxide plus water, and the final compound is the glucose plus oxygen they release. Okay, so this entire process is the photosynthesis. बहुत ही complex process है, but for us you need not get much into that. We'll only deal with that much content that is required for your examination. Okay, so photo plus synthesis, utilizing photo, that is light, they'll be cooking their own food, that is photosynthesis. Yes, तो उसके लिए they require sunlight. Sunlight also it has its own wavelength, right from infrared to ultraviolet, पूरा range मिलता है. लेकिन for this only the visible light is important. Visible light का कहाँ पे रहता है आपका, हमारा जो wavelength है, that falls between 400 to 700 nanometers. So this is the one in between. So आपको confuse करने के लिए examiner किसी भी तरह से पूछ सकता है. He can provide you the data between these also. But overall range is 400 to 700 nanometers. This is called as PAR, photosynthetically active radiation. This is what that is required for the plants to cook their own food for photosynthesis. Okay. See, ये हो गया, इससे बाहर आ गया तो अल्ट्रावायलेट रेडिएशन, इससे ज्यादा हो गया तो 700 से ज्यादा इंफ्रारेड रेडिएशन, that cannot be used for the photosynthesis. So only 400 to 700. ये पिक्चर भी याद रखेंगे, हो जाएगा photosynthetically active radiation. Okay, moving on to our next question. Some plants like sunflower respond to the direction of light. Now this is observed in some plants, and this phenomenon is known as, yes, what is this phenomenon? सनफ्लावर, सूरजमुखी, इसीलिए तो बोलते हैं ना जहां जहां सन घूमता है वो भी उसी तरह से घूमता है. दिस पर्टिकुलर फिनोमेना, इट्स बिकॉज ऑफ द that attraction towards the light, because of that some reactions in the plant. Yes, what is it called? Anyone? It's called as phototropism. Okay, see, phototropism response to light. अगर वही केमिकल के लिए कुछ रिस्पॉन्स ऐसा है तो then we can say it as chemotropism. Okay, sometimes we allelopathy जो बोलते हैं, wherein some chemicals they have an adverse impact on the growth of the other plants. Some plants release those chemicals that will have, so that response to that particular substance, chemotropism. Hydrotropism, response to water. Geotropism, response to gravity. We say no, negatively geotrophic or positively geotrophic. Roots, they are positively geotrophic because they go into the soil. The stem parts and all, they are negatively geotrophic. They move against the gravity and grow upward. So that is geotropism. So here, as you can see here, wherever the sunlight, even if you close here, this is the barrier that they have provided with a small slot wherein the light can enter into that, and to that only the plant is completely bending and growing. Moving on to our next question. Choose from the given options an organism or organisms that is considered beneficial to the plants. Yes, anyone? Which are those, as you can see the options, organism or organisms which are considered beneficial to the plants? And before giving you the answer, because the last question, there's an earnest request from my end. Please share this with your friends as well, so that they can also know that I have launched this, wherein I'll be taking, through the merit sections of NABARD and ESA and GE of RBA as well. And please don't forget to like the session before you leave. Yes, thank you. Yes, very good. It's all of the above, because earthworms in the soil, they make it friable. Vermicast that they add to the soil, improving the fertility of the soil and the porous nature, that is friability nature of the soil. Wasps, they help in pollination, especially that's called as whenever insects are used or insects help in the pollination, it's called as entomophily. Okay, and if wind is wind helps in pollination, it's called as anemophily. If animals help in pollination, how animals can help? Because while moving, their fur etc., that get coated with the pollen, and they move to other plant, and that pollen gets dusted onto the flowers. In this way also they help, that's called as zoophily. Okay, and zoophily होने के बाद और कुछ है, water, through water also, hydrophily, water also helps sometimes. So these pollination, wasps and honeybees are very important pollinators, especially for those plants where cross pollination is a must. So all of the above, they are very much beneficial to the plants. So this is all from my end. Thank you very much for being so patient, and as I have requested earlier also, please don't forget to like this session and share this session with your friends as well. Now the forum is open for your comments on today's session, any suggestions, anything, or any queries that you have. All are welcome. Yes, any queries, questions, suggestions, comments, all. And please also share these links with your friends about the channel, so that they also get to know. Okay, can't see any questions. No problem. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me through any way, through Telegram, through my app, through the FB page, through WhatsApp, or through mail. You can reach out to me in any of these ways in order to get your doubts clarified, queries. Thank you very much once again. Okay, tomorrow, let's see if I'll try to take class in the evening. Otherwise, morning class would not be there for tomorrow, because that's the time when we have our flag hoisting. I don't want any one of you to miss out on that. And a very happy Republic Day. Please have a great day ahead. Again, we'll meet day after tomorrow. Morning session भी होगा उस दिन, evening session भी करूँगी. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye bye. Good night. Have a great day ahead for tomorrow, and have happy Republic Day.